the mistake I make here is, so we have really good mats, right? So I want to not only play for height if possible, but also I want to stay on high layers, right? Because we're very rich in terms of mats. So what I do bad, or what I do good, let's talk about that first, is I rotate on a high layer. Higher layers are better to rotate on because there's less congestion. Compared to if I had to rotate through here, this is much easier. Now, after I do this, once I get into zone, what I should just do is just drop like to this layer. I think this is a really good layer because that ensures that we're not exactly second height. So even if we do get sprayed by height, we're not gonna get sprayed that much. But the spot we land at, like we just stick out like a Thor sum to height, you know? Like we are the team that they just want to keep pressuring. And because of that, we also get like servered from our bottoms, but also we use so many mats because we have to keep holding. And I didn't even know we were second height, which also means there was no scouting phase before we went. So I didn't scout out height before I rotated. And yeah, we're just too, too elevated, and we're not like mirroring them. So that's the problem. Is if we were over here, then it would be a little bit easier. We would get less sprayed. I mean, he could still create an angle, but yeah, that was the problem. It's just that we're on second height, so we use a lot of mats here. I make a pretty bad rotate here. So first of all, I don't block any of these angles where obviously there could have been a kid in here, right? And if there was a kid in like any of these boxes and they just edit their floor, they could pump me. So like, this is why this layer is like kind of risky. And then as soon as I get here, I only have two choices, which is go up, go more to the side, or go down. When I just think the right decision here is go down one, wall, floor, floor, wall, and then get in. But I end up just like dropping down to the left. But obviously my teammate could have got like bumped right there. Then here I get to this point and this guy like blocks me, right? So what I should have done is once I saw this guy in front of me, instead of going to the right, I should have just went up 2 layers above him and then a box up here. Because the problem with what I do is, first of all, I have to replace this wall and he's on a right-hand peak. Second of all, this team is more on the side of the zone and we're in the middle. So it's going to be easy for them to fight us. Like, and basically I try to take this wall. This guy somehow edits through. I get the wall. But now they're positioning, like obviously they have nothing else to do but just fight us. And we don't have like much space. This guy pre-fires me through the wall. I make space back. He gets the wall. I'm trying to hold the fucking stair. He gets the cone and I'm just getting shit on. But a lot of that could have been prevented if we were literally just above them. But because we're in the middle, we get fucked by this team. I make one small mistake and one really big mistake after going for this body. So we go for it. What I do good is I build around, cover all my angles. We get all the mats. I saw the chug jug, but I saw my teammate went for the chug jug. What I should have done here is drop my jetpack for the med kits. It's a small thing, yeah, but that might be the difference between getting second, getting first, or solo clutching with med kits. You know, you never know. The jetpack is basically useless at this point in the game. The second thing is after we get the mats and we're about to go, first of all, didn't cover any of these angles. There could have just been a guy staring at us, because when you don't scout and you're not looking, you never know who's looking backside. And now we're backside. So didn't build any of these angles off and just ran in the open. Should have built all of these angles, edited this wall, then built this wall, went up, and then get in over here. But I don't place this left wall. None of these walls were placed. My head is not placed. Don't even know where height is. They might be looking at me. I get pumped, and then I build, which is too slow because that is being reactive. And now I have to heal. I have to heal on zone switch. So if we don't get a good pull here, we are basically cooked. Because I have to throw the med mist. And then it pulls max. So now I'm rotating with like 30 shield when I should have been 100. And this is how shit stacks up. Because I'm being lazy and I'm not building off angles that are very important to build off. Now it snowballs later into the game. Here I look backside for a kill because we're really low on mats. And then I get this kill on this guy, right? And then I play my siphon. And the mistake I make here is, first of all, when I go for this body, I'm fully exposed to the front side, like these guys over here. So what I need to do when I go for this body is at least place a wall and a floor to block my head. Now, for in storm, if they're crouched, then too bad sometimes. It doesn't work out. I only had 6 builds. I probably could have built a full box around it because I was really healthy on HP and I was going to get siphon. But then the bigger mistake that I make is I have a full tarp and a teammate over here. But instead of going over there, I run this way. What is the point of running this way? You know what I'm saying? Just run this way into the old tarp. Not only does that get me to my teammate, but also there's already tarp in here, so it's much safer than going the direction that I was heading in. And I know I'm being really picky, but these small things, even though I'm not really getting punished in these lobbies, when I get into lobbies with better players, they can lead to just me dying or losing the game. Something I need to start doing that I don't do right now is rotating early with the jetpacks when we have the conditions that we need to do good. So what I mean by that is we are 599 above. We don't need to heal, so we don't need to get damage. All we want to do is get in, not take a lot of damage, and then land early and then shoot everybody coming in, right? But instead, what I do is instead of just going early, it also pulled into dead side, which means there's not a lot of teams right now. But as everybody's flying and they land, we will get held. If we go right now, what are the chances we're going to get lobbied? If you just look at the zone, 0% chance because everyone is flying right now. Now, the only downside to flying with everybody else is you might land in somebody's box. That's the only bad thing. But what we do is we wait for so long trying to shoot in the back when we're already 500 above. So then by the time we come in, there's so many teams in zone already, and I start getting lobbied. And yes, I didn't die or anything, and we got some damage by sitting back there. But now we took a lot of damage and used a lot of builds because we started getting lobbied. And in a higher level like lobby, we might have got lobbied and then died here. So this is just a classic example of just get in first earlier, then look for damage. Even if we were only 50 above, I would say we could have just got in early, like maybe look for some tags, then get in, then shoot everybody coming in. And this is just a mistake I make that like snowballs later into the game because we have less mats. There's not really a lot to talk about with my day. I just played 3 scrim sessions, 8 vital games. It was a pretty good day. I did a lot of the things I needed to do, and in one of the games that we played, we got 2nd place, and we were super hyped. Like, that was the first time I did good in an end game in so long where I IGL'd, and it just felt really refreshing because, we got refreshes and we had to stagger, clutch up at the end, and it felt really good to actually do good in a game again. And it gave me a lot of confidence, like, yo, I can keep improving. And over these next weeks, with the last, I think, 3 weeks of the Div Cups before the new season, my goal is not to make Div 1 or make a Div 1 finals or none of that. My goal is simply to improve and, see how much I've improved and then VOD it and then get better next week and try to get a better placement every week. That's all I'm trying to do. And yeah, it was a really productive day. And that was day 108.